Back with another episode of Life After the Feds. I'm your host, Sam Sneed. I'll be giving you a story today about a young man. He just came home recently, but I see he going down the right path and he has a story to tell. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Yeah, my name is John Chavers, and 42 years old, fresh out the feds. So I'm here today with bro, to talk about it.
I appreciate you coming on here with me, man. First I want to get into it. You went to prison your first time at a young age, correct?
Yeah.
Um, let us know how old you were when you first went to prison.
So when I caught my first case, I was 17 years old, and I went in for aggravated 2 counts aggravated robbery, 1 count aggravated burglary, felonious assault, 5 gun specs, and ended up serving 18 years for it. That was what I was sentenced to, and I served every day of it.
Oh wow. That's had you been in trouble before that case? Like any
Uh,
juvenile?
I had some small misdemeanor weed charges, but
Yeah,
nothing, never been to DYS or DH. That was really my first time being incarcerated.
right. And you did 18 years. Um, okay, so you're doing this 18 years. You young though, so you hadn't even finished. Had you finished high school before your
No,
case?
no, I was actually in the ninth grade still. I flunked and I was on my sophomore year, but I was still in the ninth grade.
Yeah. So wow, you gotta learn, you gotta get your GED, and you gotta really grow up in that system right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people would say, when they think a person did time like that, they'll say like, oh, they bitter, or you know what I'm saying, they mad. Um, that was never my case of being bitter or mad. I looked at it always as a lesson. You see what I'm saying? How at your age, how did you feel when you had all that time?
So going in, I can say like my first 2 to 3 years, I was kind of in zombie mode,
Right.
because being so young, I didn't realize what had happened to me,
Yeah.
and I was still uh under the impression that it wasn't going to be so bad and I was going to get out early. I was thinking maybe I'd do 3 years or something like that and I'd be home, but I was just in zombie mode, like I was just numb.
Yeah.
It didn't dawn on me what happened for like my first 2 or 3 years. So I was just kind of going through the motions of transitioning from getting sent to the reception center in prison to getting sent to the juvenile prison. It's adult prison, but it had a juvenile dorm.
Yeah.
So, I was in with a bunch of other guys. They were under 18 years old, and it could have went a lot of ways, but fortunately I was swooped up by a dude that had been there before, and he was kind of, a tough guy, tough young kid. And
Yeah.
he wasn't on no weird stuff or anything of that nature. So,
Right.
like I ended up getting caught in the crowd. He was wild, but he was solid. You know what I
Right.
mean?
I
So
definitely
he
understand that.
he showed me how to defend myself, protect myself, how not to put up with no BS. And
Mhm.
we got into stuff as juveniles because all they did was play in there. It was like
Yeah.
a big playground for kids that was
Mhm.
wild. So, up through that time, all the way up until there, when you got so much time, you have to get your high school diploma out
Right.
of high school. So
Okay.
when I finally turned 18 and I finished high school, I ended up getting sent to a close prison, which was Trumbull.
Hmm.
And I was there for about 5.5 years before I got my security dropped. I was there with a lot of solid homies from my city, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dez, Rory, Marty Bones, Marcus Green, motherfucking, just a bunch of guys, you know what I'm saying? And we had a little clique amongst our city.
Yeah.
And, we stayed solid with each other. We played game, had basketball teams together, so we had our little city teams, and we stayed clicked tight and made sure that everybody was safe and straight. And, we kind of took care of each other, and we grew a bond in there.
Yeah.
And through that kept me sane.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was finally starting to click on me after about 8 years in that, damn, I got this time.
Yeah.
So finally I got sent from there. I ended up getting my security dropped after like 5.5 years. I went to Belmont, and when I got to Belmont, that's gladiator school.
Yeah. I was
So
in the nickel.
yeah,
I was in the dirty nickel.
yeah, I was in Ford House, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was just wild. And down there, that's when I realized that, like, you got to fight,
Yeah.
because them boys steal.
All that.
Yeah, them out of town dudes, them Cleveland dudes, they jump and shit. So as a city, my whole time being incarcerated, I always dealt with Cantons,
Right.
and that was my clique. If you was from the city, I rocked with you. I didn't do no hood stuff or no you
And
from
that's what,
there and we protected each other. We hung
yeah.
out, we kicked it,
Let
and
me say this. Let me say this real quick because I want to reiterate that.
mm-hmm,
When you're in Ohio prison, I'm saying Ohio prison,
yeah,
or you could be from any prison in America, wherever you at. When you in an Ohio prison and you from Canton, Ohio, you run with Canton dudes. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
If you know what I'm saying, if that is the way y'all solid like that. You see what I'm saying?
exactly.
It ain't
Now,
gonna be no. I mean, you might have sprinkled in Massland,
yeah,
but if you from Canton, ain't no size of town no more.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Especially amongst the guys that's doing time, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You got dudes doing 3 and 5 years.
yeah,
Like, we gotta protect each other, because
mm-hmm.
if you trying to claim, oh, I'm from this side of town, and you trying to ostracize yourself from the group, then when them Cleveland dudes get on your head,
Yeah,
or you know what I mean, or them Youngstown dudes get on your head, which we pretty much rock with the 330, Akron,
yeah.
Camp,
That-
Youngstown, we
that-
hung click. But when something happens like that, and another city gets on your head, you can't come back to the city looking for help.
no, not
you
at all.
know
You on your
exactly.
own.
So yeah, so you gotta, you basically hang with your city guys from your city. You might have these group of dudes from, rated over here, these dudes from 14 for sure over here that hang more. But
Yeah,
amongst all of us, we all, you know kick it and dap each other up, and might keep it moving or whatever. But we all recognize each other in some sort of way, that we know that, okay, if something get deep, we coming.
I know. Listen, I met some real guys from different sides of town, and I didn't never get to know them on the outside. I just know
Mm-hmm.
it was beef. But when we was locked up in them cages, dog, them was some solid niggas. You see,
Yes, exactly,
they
exactly.
was
You know what I
riding.
mean?
I was like, damn, I could rock with this dude. He ride like I ride.
Mm-hmm. And then it's like, you got guys that get locked up, and they're not fighters. They're not aggressive. They're not gorillas, and stuff happens to them. But we protect them, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it was times older guys from the city would have to come to me and be like, Ghost, man, you gotta quit putting your cape on for these dudes. By the way, that's my nickname, Ghost or whatever. They be like, Ghost, man, quit putting your cape on for these dudes, man. You da 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 da. You gotta get out of here and whoop de whoop. But because I was aggressive and I was a fighter, and I
Yeah.
wasn't going for nobody stealing my dude over here boots because they know he not gonna fight. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? So I'm pulling up, that's what I was on. That's what time I was on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, any prison you go to, they gonna tell you, like, yeah, Ghost gonna beat something, you know what I'm saying? And I
Yeah.
ain't I ain't trying to be proud of that, but that's how I had to survive in there.
Like you had to survive. That's how
You
you
know
had
what I
to
mean?
survive.
Like, I was able to leave in a spot where everybody's stealing everything from everybody. I
Yeah.
was able to leave my CD player on the bed. I was able to leave my cigarettes out and stuff like that, and wouldn't nobody touch them because they know I'm a nut.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
technically, I'm not though. Like I'm really just a laid back, cool dude, and I'm a friendly dude, and I
You
mingle with
stand,
everybody from
stand,
different cities and stuff. But
you stand on your shit. That's how.
exactly, you know what I mean? It was
Let,
survival.
let me ask you this. So boom, where did they release you from?
I ended up getting released from Richland.
Richland.
Yeah, after I left Belmont, I went to Richland. I was there for maybe like 2.5 years, and then I got in trouble, caught some dirty urines and stuff, and they sent me to Lebanon Correctional Institution. I was in Lebanon for like 2.5 years, and then they sent me back to Richland, and I finished up my last 5.5 there.
Now,
Now,
your
mind you,
last. Go ahead.
I went to trial on my case and I lost.
Yeah.
So through all this, I'm filing appeals from the state to the feds all the way up.
Yeah.
I was getting denied. It took like I was probably like 13 years in when I filed my last eligible appeal and I got denied.
Yeah.
But it took up until maybe 12 years in is when I really changed, because you was asking, what was my mindset throughout that time.
Yeah.
For like maybe 10 to 12 years, I was just bad. You know what I'm saying? I was just a savage, you know what I'm saying? I did a little bit
Yeah.
of stealing, I did a little bit of fighting, I did a little bit of all type of BS, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Starting stuff at the poker table and fighting over basketball games and stuff when we lost. And, I was kind of like a bad seed, you know what I'm saying? I was a
Yeah.
good dude, but I was just bad,
Right.
young and bad, you know what I'm saying? So it took me like till I got about maybe about 10, 11 years in when I decided, like, you know what? I don't want this on my name no more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I started to educate. That's when I started to educate myself really heavy and reading books, as far as like I think one of the first books somebody gave me was Knowledge of Self. It was called Knowledge of Self.
Right.
And I end up getting with the 5%ers, the Nation of Gods and Earths. And
Mm-hmm.
I studied that for 5, 7, 8 years up until I left almost.
Yeah.
So I've been a part of the Nation of Gods and Earth for like 8 years, but that started in 2011. Once I read that Knowledge of Self, and I started realizing who I was as a Black man and the power that I had,
Mm-hmm.
that's when I started wanting to take on all knowledge. And then I started telling myself, like, okay, since they telling me that I can't get in any education until I get under 5 years, I couldn't
Yeah.
get no higher education until I get under 5 years.
That's crazy right
And
there.
that's crazy. So I had to start educating myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I started telling myself, well, what do you want to do? I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a businessman. I want to sell houses. I want to get into real estate. So
Right.
I started reading. I first started reading a bunch of self-help books. TD Jakes, anything that was like psychology of the mind and how people work,
Yeah.
and how people operate and how people think. Any type of self-help book that had some knowledge in it, I read it. And then it went from that to reading real estate books and money management books and gaining financial literacy and stuff like that. So I've read a lot of books over the years, you know what I'm saying, especially about African American history or African history or our history, should I say.
Right.
So it's just, I just started building from there. And don't get me wrong, I was still aggressive and I was still a fighter and all that stuff. But at the same
But you
time,
change,
I'll go ahead.
but you changing, you evolving though.
I'm changing, and not only am I changing, I'm changing the young brothers that's with me, because I'm passing them books. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm making the young dudes that's around me read 48 Laws of Power, and you know, because I'm telling them that, hey, you want to learn how to master the game, and I'm tricking them really. You know what I mean? You want to learn
Yeah.
how to master the game? Here, read this right here. And even though 48 Laws of Power is a book of manipulation and stuff like that,
Right.
I'm really just tricking them into reading.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
long as you read and you learn how to read, then you're gonna pick up another book because you learning how to read.
You
You
start. You
know,
start. start becoming a habit. You know,
Exactly. You
yeah,
know, and then I'm passing them little papers off about knowledge itself and trying to teach them who they are, little small little packets and stuff like that. So, you know, it was just that's just how I went about doing my time after like 2011. It was all about knowledge and taking programs, and mind you, I'm still trying to fight to get out. So I'm taking these programs, victims of crime and subject to change, whatever the name of the victim awareness and all these
right.
different programs, you know, trying to make myself look good for this appeal or early release or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Still having hope that I'm gonna get out early.
Right.
It took all the way up until probably like I was 15 years in when I realized, like, you know what, they about to make me do all this time.
Yeah.
You know, when I really just stopped caring about even going home, because I'm like, man, I got 3 years left.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
you wait. You got 3 years left. What was the other? Did you have any plans? Like as you get closer to the door, what's your plan now? Because you were 17 when you got in. You got some,
yeah.
but you're not the young ghost now. You the
Hmm.
older, mature ghost. I didn't seen a little bit. What's my plan? What's my play?
To be honest with you, coming home, getting ready to come home from that 18, I literally told somebody this. They asked me like, "What you gonna do when you get out there?" And I told them, "Man, I don't even know. I don't even know what's out there."
Yeah.
Because the only time I touched a smartphone was in the jail. I
Right.
didn't I didn't get on Facebook and do all that stuff. I called the people whose number I had.
Right. Now what year is it that you coming home?
2018.
2018.
Yeah, from 2000 to 2018.
2018.
So it's a big change. It's a big
It's a
change.
big
You
change.
know, when I went in, we had the flip phones. Who would you like to call? Sprint
Right.
PCS. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, it was different. You know what I'm saying?
Do you have to go to a halfway house when you come home?
Yeah, I ended up doing my last 6 months of the 18 years in the halfway house over on the south side, yeah, over on the
Yeah.
south side.
Okay. Um, you over there. Now tell me, did the halfway house help you any type of way in your transition home?
I can say it did because the halfway house was real important for me. Like my first, no, my second day there, I wasn't even supposed to be allowed to go nowhere until I did my first initial intake.
Yeah.
But it was a guy there named Mr. Brown. I'm sure everybody, you know him. He was a football coach, little league football coach, and all that stuff. But Mr. Brown came and got me, knowing my situation, being gone all that time, and they were going to the Civic Center to a Canton Charge game.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Look, man, I know you ain't supposed to go, but when I call everybody, just come get in the van, man. I know you want to see what's going on."
Yeah.
And I went to that Civic Center game, man, and you know I had a little young dude that I did time with that was in the halfway house with me, and he was like my rollie, you know, he was like my wheels, you know, my chauffeur around.
Yeah.
So he was showing me how stuff go, but just walking around a Civic Center and being in there with all them people, like it was so like exciting and fulfilling, but at the same
Yeah.
time it was scary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm bumping into people, people bumping into me, and I'm just like, whoa, hold on, like it's a lot going on in here.
It's
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And then like another story, like one day, I finally get my first pass,
Mm-hmm.
to leave to go to the go to the store or something like that. So me and my mans and them, it's like three of us that left out. We walking, to the bus stop or whatever. They run across the street to the bus stop. I'm so scared. I walked to the corner, crossed at the crosswalk,
Yeah.
waited for the walk sign, crossed at the crosswalk, then had to go across the street. I waited for the crosswalk on that side and went across the street. They already up at the street headed to the bus stop, and I'm taking all these, I'm trying to be law abiding, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't even want to jaywalk. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it, you know, and I always teach that as a tell that to dudes that's coming home from a stretch, like, look, I tell them that story, right?
Yeah.
And I'll be like, look, don't be too in a rush to cross across that street.
Yeah.
Follow them rules, follow them guidelines, and take your time, because it wasn't even 2 weeks later I was running across the street.
Yeah.
And that goes to show you, you know, fast forward, once we get fast forward past this little section right here, I'll bring you back to this, rewind back to this, and show you why I moved fast and where I made my mistakes. Because I
Yeah.
was so fast to run across that street. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But yeah,
That,
the halfway house definitely helped me out a little bit.
yeah. That's some good game right there, man. You know, because we do be in a rush to, you know, when you come home, your mind is like, what I'm gonna do? I gotta do this, I gotta do that. But damn, slow down, figure it out.
Yeah.
Cross them streets, like you said. I love how you said that, man. Um, you know, so boom, okay, you out now. You gotta get a job. You ain't never
Yeah.
worked.
Exactly. Seeing the halfway house had helped me get a job.
Okay,
You
that's
know, I got a couple. I had got some jobs in the halfway through the halfway house and stuff. So, you know, let me rewind back to my last maybe year and a half in prison. I end up, you know, getting introduced to this woman, this female,
uh-huh.
and you know, she held me down for my last 15 months. But she had me under the impression that, you know, home was great, everything was good. She had 4 children,
Yeah,
and you know, I was under the impression that I was gonna come home, be able to, you know, she had me thinking I was gonna be able to sit down, take my time, whoop de whoop. Home was good. Her kids is straight. I ain't gotta worry about her kids or her or none of that. Just get me together. Take my
right.
time, get me together. So in the halfway house, you know, I was helping her out a little bit, but I didn't have much, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I was just taking care of me. So
Yeah.
finally, fast forward, I get out the halfway house, I go live with her.
Mm-hmm.
I get there, the house is a mess. It's you know it's mice. It's you know the kids is clothing is under par.
Yeah.
The bills is backed up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
She's on the liquor crazy. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's just like
It's a
I
bad.
ended up, yeah, I ended up in a situation where it was either hustle or lose our house, you know, lose our home.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up going to Stark State and getting enrolled in school.
Yeah.
But I ended up getting enrolled in something that I was not uh, really ready for.
Fair.
I signed up for computer science and engineering,
Mm-hmm.
knowing I ain't been on a computer in 20 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying
Yeah.
to sign up for computer. By the time I log in the classroom, we 45 minutes in. You know what I'm saying? I can't even log in right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so so it
Right.
was hard. I was there for 2 semesters, but it was hard. But I ended up, make a long story short, I ended up taking out a student loan. You know what I mean? And I took some of that money, paid a couple bills or whatever the case may be, and then I ended up getting some weed.
Yeah.
You know, so I started hustling the weed and stuff, trying to hustle the weed. Mind you, I done got this weed. She know I got the weed. She know I'm trying to help take care of home, but yet she won't let me go out and hustle.
Right.
It's a problem every time I leave the house. You know what I'm saying? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
why you want to always be out at night and da da da? I'm like, man, I gotta try to make some money. I got this bag been sitting here for 2 weeks
Yeah.
and I ain't made $1, and I done paid $1,800 for this shit. I got to move it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to get all off into that, but you know, to make a long story short, it was just causing turmoil in the house. On top of the fact that I'm doing what I ain't supposed to be doing.
Yeah. So you
You
ain't
know
even,
what I mean?
at this point you ain't even get a job. This is straight school.
Yeah, I had quit working my job at Chili's Bar and Grill, and I started going to school.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
now, mind you, after 2 semesters, I went to summer school. I went to a semester during the summer and then the next semester. And then it was getting so hard for me. And then the hustle would start picking up a little bit. So I just stopped. And now I'm just hustling and just out here,
Right. So
you
now
know.
All right, boom. Now, this is another part to this. You went back to prison.
Yeah, I end up breaking up with her because stuff got too bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still hustling.
Right,
So I ended up graduating from weed to dealing with harder drugs.
right.
So many months go by or whatever. I get pulled over. I catch a trafficking case.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with this trafficking case, I get caught with a whole bunch of stuff: heroin, crack. Uh, you know, it was basically heroin, crack, and a little bit of meth.
Yeah.
I catch the trafficking case. I cop out to 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
I end up going back to prison, and I'm sick. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Right.
damn. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm tripping out here.
Like I'm
So
back here. But now,
yeah.
I don't know how you felt, but I'm thinking at this time, now you back for 18 months. That's
Hmm.
as long as you did the first time. But it's familiar. You know that familiar feel.
Exactly. It's feeling familiar, and this is how warped and goofy my mind is. In my mind, when I go back to prison, I don't go back to prison in the mindset of, man, I ain't doing this shit no more, man. I'm done. Da 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 da. Da. I go back to prison with the mindset of, damn, I shouldn't have been riding around and doing all this, man. If I'd have just sat still, boom, I know what I'm doing now. The only reason I got locked up is because I'm rusty.
Right.
But now I done been out here long enough doing it. I know what the fuck I'm doing now, so I can do it.
Yeah.
So I'm really in prison building on how to be a better hustler when I get out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I end up going to prison. It just so happened that, like I said, they gave me 18 months. It just so happened that my high school diploma that I got when I was a juvenile in 2001 wasn't on file.
Yeah.
So they tell me, you got to sign up and get your GED, or, basically they making me go to school. So when
Mm-hmm.
I get to school, I'm trying to tell them, like, look, I got a high school diploma. I'm not about to do this. Da, 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 da. I'm arguing with the teacher lady, the principal lady. I get back to the dorm. I end up telling them, I'm venting to somebody like, man, these motherfuckers got me fucked up. They trying to make me go to school. Da, 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 da. He tell me, he like, bro, if you go get, if you get your GED, you can get 90 days off your sentence. I said,
Yeah.
what? So, so now I got a high school diploma and a GED. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I end up getting the 90 days off my sentence plus earning another 2 months just from, what I'm saying, being in school.
Mm-hmm.
And I end up getting out in basically like 6 months and then doing 6 more months in a halfway house. This was during the
Yeah.
pandemic.
Uh-huh.
So I basically go back to the halfway house. I finished the halfway house. Nobody couldn't go nowhere. Nobody couldn't get no jobs or nothing because of the pandemic. So I basically just did the whole 6 months sitting in the halfway house during the Black Lives Matter movement and all that stuff. I get
Mm-hmm.
out. When I get out, I'm looking for my people. What's up?
Right.
I'm ready. Hit me off. You know what I'm saying? And mind you, I was moving how I was supposed to be moving.
Right.
But it was a situation where, to be honest, my little brother had got into something with somebody.
Okay.
And basically we was on some bull crap, you know what I mean? A little with the little beef, you know what I'm saying? And then I just told him, like, look, bro, bring me a pistol over here. Cause if you out, cause he be out a lot, you know what I'm saying, bar hopping and stuff. So I'm like, if you out and you call me, I can't come running if I ain't got no pistol.
Right.
So he bring me a pistol over. I had it in the house for maybe a week or two. And one day I was doing something in the house or something, or we had some people over at the house. And this is at my new woman's house, which is now my child's mother.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And my woman now, my fiance. So I had the gun at the house. I moved the gun out the house and put it in the car.
Mm-hmm.
I put it in the car, I'm drunk, you know what I mean, kicking it high off weed and stuff. And I put the gun in the car at night. I forget about it. I went to
Yeah.
sleep, slept all afternoon. I get in traffic, you know, I'm riding around all day with a gun on the seat and ain't even thinking about it. And
Right.
then come nighttime, I'm out here doing my thing at night, doing my little hustle. Boom, I go drop somebody off. Call my baby mom, hey, you want some food? Da 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 da. She at work.
Yeah.
So she like, yeah, bring me some food. So I hit out to, you know, I was already in North Canton. So I go out to Canes, whatever. I had to GPS my way to her job.
Right.
So I pulled in the parking lot. It's dark. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm the only person in the parking lot. It's snowing everywhere. So I cut my lights out. I had an older car. I had to cut my lights out, you know what I'm saying, manually. So I cut my lights out. I'm GPSing the spot. I get the spot on the GPS. I go to pull off. I forget to cut the lights on.
Oh.
Police, police get behind me, pulling out of the parking lot,
Mm-hmm.
flash the lights. You know what I mean? And I guess once they flashed the lights, I realized like, damn, I got this fucking gun in the car.
Damn. All of it just come back.
Yeah, so you know, I'm
Yeah.
probably in the car looking nervous and making all type of moves and whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fidgeting, he pulls me out the car, search the car, find the gun.
Mm.
I go to the county. I ended up going to Lorraine for the
So you
state.
P
Huh?
you
I,
PV?
I ended up PVing. I
Okay.
did I did a 9-month parole violation.
Okay. Got you.
That was it. They sent me to Lorraine before I even went to trial for the gun or anything, or went to court for the gun or anything. They sent me straight to Lorraine.
Yeah.
So I did the 9-month parole violation in Lorraine. I got down to 30 days. They got the little kiosk, the little JPay.
Woo.
I get on the kiosk one day. For some reason, like since the whole 9 months, I was just checking this. They got a little section on there you can click on and it say warrants or whatever.
Yeah.
So the whole time I'm thinking like, oh, they must have threw my case out or something. Da 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 da. You know what I mean? And then like 2 months before I got out, my fiance tell me, she like, hey, they threw your case out. You got a no bill. So I'm
Ooh.
geeked. I'm like, ooh, I got a no bill. They threw my case out. Come 30 days after that, 30 days before I'm about to get out, I just happened to click on the warrant thing. I got a warrant for my arrest for
Ooh.
aggravated. It say my old case. It says aggravated robbery, aggravated burglary, felonious assault. So we like, what the fuck? Like
You
I already, yeah. But come to find out, the ATF done picked up my case
Oh.
because of my old charges.
I
Because I had a violent case that I was on probation for,
Yeah.
and then I had a drug case. They count that as two violent cases,
Okay.
and they charged me with felony in possession of a gun because of that.
Mm.
So yeah, so they let I ended up going to court the first time or whatever. They ended up letting me out on bond for a year.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, when I get out on bond, I got a son now. My
Right.
fiance was pregnant. My son was 20 days old when I got home.
Right.
So I was out for 11 months with him before I had to turn myself into the feds.
Okay. You turn yourself in. How much time did they give you in the feds?
They ended up giving me a 9 month what's it called? A 6 month downward
Uh-huh.
departure, and I ended up getting 51 months.
51 months. You got
Yeah,
all right. Now your whole life has changed within this time frame you've been home. You know what?
yeah.
You got a child now. You got a fiance now. Okay. You got to go do this 51 months. You ain't the old ghost from them two little bits before.
Not at all.
Now you got a son. You got a family. You got a family. You know what I mean?
This one hurt.
Huh?
This one hurt.
Yeah, this one hurt.
Yeah,
You leaving your son now. You see what
this one hurt, bro.
I'm
Like
saying?
this bit here, this was, and then they sent me to a real super soft prison.
Right. Where did they
He,
send you to?
they sent me to Petersburg,
Oh, yeah.
aka Sweetersburg.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, it's I was there for 2 years and maybe seen one fight. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing. Everybody that's there is either trying to go home or trying to stay there. So
This
it's
the
not, huh?
this the low?
This is a low.
Yeah.
So it's real laid back, real calm. Ain't nobody on nothing. Hardest time of my life.
Hardest time of your life.
easiest bit ever, hardest time of my life.
Yeah, yeah.
You
You
know what I'm
got
saying?
now. So now,
And
right, what's your mind state now that you coming home from this 51 months? What's
my
your plan?
mi- my mind state is, what am I gonna do to keep myself from being in this situation again?
Right.
I can't do this shit no more. I'm cool. I'm 42 now. You know, at this point, I'm 40,
Yeah.
trying to get out. You know what I mean? Trying to
You
get out early, which I ended up doing 30 months total,
yeah.
and then released to the halfway house, which I only had 30 days in the halfway house because I earned a whole lot of good time, and it just
Yeah.
kind of pushed me out the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
With them
so
new laws and everything, you know what I mean? Earning that good.
yeah,
Um, but this is what I want to say to you, right? I always tell myself this. This is what keeps me grounded from you know what I'm saying, jumping out the tree sometime. You know what I mean? Can I stand 20 right now? I can't stand a 20 ball right now. I like it out here. It's free. I'm free. I can get some buns. I can go to work. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But
right,
my kids out here, you know what I mean? Man, shit, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? I can't do like, back in the day, just jump up and do what I want to do. Sometimes, okay, I gotta save a couple checks up. But it is what it is. I'd rather do that than be sick
hmm
for a motherfucker to send me some bread or for a motherfucker to come visit me. You know what I mean? So that's what keeps me grounded at times.
yeah. So now it's like I go to the halfway house for the 30 days, and they had a little thing where I could go to Ohio Means up there in Youngstown and sign up for the CDL program.
Right.
So that's what I did. I jumped on that ASAP, and I actually start that on the 28th.
Oh, congratulations, man.
Yeah, so I'll be going up to Youngstown or Niles, whatever, and start my CDL training on the 28th. It's a 5-week class, but it's like, I had a beautiful woman that, you know what I'm saying, like, she held me down, like she rolled with me since
Mm-hmm.
we met. We've been rocking, you know what I mean? But through this Fed bit, like, she was there for me, you know what I'm saying? She sent money when I needed it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it wasn't a question asked about it or nothing, you know what I mean? And I come home to her the house. I come home to 10, eight, 10 pairs of shoes, you know what I'm saying? Five,
Right.
six, 7 outfits, you know what I
You
mean?
need that, when you come
Yeah.
out of them situations like that, man. Just real quick, your fiance is family. She's family. You know, I watched her walk up the hill and in the hood, me and her uncles and mom,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But that's family. That's
Yes, sir.
I so
I know, I heard.
yeah, you having her on your side, man. I know she gonna hold you down. And we need that in our life sometimes. People to keep us grounded. You know,
hmm
keep us grounded and keep us out of the fucking way. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we get the moving and grooving. Sometimes we need that pullback.
Yeah.
Man, you tripping.
See, and now it's like my thing now is basically like trying to get my career on track.
Right.
She's working on her new career and trying to balance um taking care of home, but knowing that I got a woman that, got control of things financially and stuff like that. Like, I don't have to do as much,
Right.
and unfortunately, but fortunately, my father that I really didn't know like that, he passed,
Mm-hmm.
and I ended up getting a little lump sum of money, so I can maintain and help. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
I'm able to provide,
Right.
but she's also keeping her foot on the gas too. So it's like we doing all right. And
That's
yeah, so really I'm just trying to juggle family. I'm trying to, you know, have my little fun, but at the same time, as a man, I'm still learning how to have fun without, getting myself in trouble with
Yeah,
the fiance, and
yeah,
and
yeah,
doing things that, you know, being around trouble, knowing how to identify when trouble is brewing and getting up out of there. Or,
yeah,
I'm at the
yeah,
point now where it's like I done had my fun. I'm ready to start working. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to
yeah,
start working on this plan. So, the I've been out about 45, 50 days. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? So it's like them first 30 days, and plus I got out in May. My birthday was for May 1st. My birthday was June 28th.
yeah.
So all the way up until my birthday, and after that, I kicked it. You know what I mean? I had a ball. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like, okay, it's time to buckle down, and I'm settled down.
Yeah.
I'm in little old Canton, so it's like, ain't you only it don't take you but 2 months to see everything and everybody.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
now it's like, okay, I done seen it, I done did it, and plus prior years of doing stuff. So it's like, all right, I'm ready to settle down and sit back and, and get my life right.
I like to ask my guests this right here. What would you tell a young male or female youngster that's going down the wrong path right now? Like you could see them, when you in the hood or you see shit and you be like, man, that was me right there, or that, I seeing kids like that, or you see
Yeah.
and like, yo, what would you tell them?
Like, I would try to get them to understand that, you know, sometimes it starts off with 15 months, then it turns into 2.5 years, then it turns into a three ball, then it turns into 5 years. Next thing you know, you look up, you 30 years old. From 18, you 30 years old, and you only been out of jail for 2 years. Or you ain't seen a summer, or you done missed every birthday.
Mhm.
It done happened to numerous of guys. And my best advice to them is to get them to see that picture, try to get them to see that picture, and then try to get them to understand that if you just hold off till you 18 and stay straight, that gun that you want to carry or all that stuff that you want to do, you can go to the shooting range and shoot your gun legally. You can
Mhm.
get your gun legally, and you can protect yourself legally. You
Right.
know, all the other stuff, trying to slide on dudes about talking and all that, and that's it's unnecessary. Your main goal is to try to get your life started as early as possible. So that way when you 30, you don't have to be trying to catch up. When you 40, you don't be having to trying to catch up. Get your high school diploma, go to,
Well
get
said.
you a trade. Like my advice, I don't even really promote college.
Right.
I promote trade and entrepreneurship.
Right.
Get you a trade, something that you can get some money right now, since everybody on this money, money, money. I got to get a bag.
Yeah.
If you're smart enough to go to college, I feel like I don't have to have this conversation with you.
Yeah. Plumbing, electricians.
If you in the streets, get you a trade, man. Welding, get your CDL, become electrician, get something that you can do that you can always fall back on, and it's probably more than likely felony friendly.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So in case something does happen to you, you can always be like, well, when you get out of prison, you can be like, well, I'm a welder. I can go anywhere in the United States and get me a job as a welder. But the goal is to not go to prison.
Yes. Yeah.
Prison is not cool. Like, it's not
It ain't.
nothing to brag about. It's nothing fun to sit back as a 22-year-old man and have to ask your mama for $20 or $40 so you can get some socks or some soups. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, it ain't nothing fly about that. You know what I mean? Being hard in the prison, being the hardest person on the prison yard is not cold. Like, you know what I mean? So that's the thing. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
don't think a lot of dudes know that, and a lot of big homies or whatever the case may be, not telling them. Even
Hmm.
if, and then, or if they running in packs of young dudes, it might be a pack of 8 young niggas. they all dumb. So, you know what I mean? They don't know better to tell each other that, you know what I'm saying? But if they
Right.
bump into somebody like me where I can tell them, that's what I'm gonna tell them. Like, man,
Yeah.
leave this shit alone. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Like I said, hopefully, man, what I want to do is I want to get guys like us that's been down that road and been through situations, and you know what I'm saying, talk with some of these kids that's at risk going to like I've been to DYS, I've been to um uh Cuyahoga Hills, Mohican, Maumee, you know what I mean? So I want to go back into these places and say, look, bro, get you a trade. Exactly, get you a trade. If you feel like you want to really get some real money, learn to be a plumber or electrician. You're gonna win. Be a truck driver. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, something you can fall back on. And hopefully we can collide and figure that out when we can do that.
Yeah, because that's really for real. That's the lesson these days because everybody, it ain't. I mean, don't get me wrong. You got some dudes that's on the gangster, but for the most part, everybody is on. I gotta get a bag. I gotta get a bag.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get your bag legally and get your money, and you ain't gotta worry about none of this extra stuff that we over here talking about because you would dodge all that, and
Exactly.
you will be up. And I'll probably teach them about credit
Yeah.
and being able to go into the store and buy $15,000 with jewelry with $700, you know, type stuff. You know what I mean? So
So your plan is to get your CDL. What else? What else would you like to do on this journey? Like, what else would you like to do on this journey?
um, I'm real heavy in the real estate, man. I've been reading on real estate for years and years and years. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's all like this Fed bit. That's all I watch. Home and Garden TV. You know what I mean? Fix it and flip it. Married to real estate. I
Right.
watch the real estate channel all day long. Like, you know what I mean? That's really what I want to get into. I want to buy my first house and flip it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then move on from there and take it out the city, take it out the state. Just
Right.
purchase up houses and land and live off of that. You know what I mean? I never wanted to be a truck driver. I don't like my life goal is not to be a truck driver.
Yeah.
That's just convenient and it's a good trade to have and
Yeah.
it's felony friendly and it's good money.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that right now to, you know, stabilize myself.
Mm-hmm.
But really being a real estate investor is my real goal, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Um, have you had any other challenges since you've been home this time?
Um Really the only challenge I'm really dealing with right now is with my federal probation.
Yeah.
And that's they put guidelines or they put restrictions on my traveling.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to get a job as a you know driving a box truck for somebody, but they got me stuck in Northeast Ohio. Like I
Mm-hmm.
can't even go to Columbus, you know what I mean, without like written permission from my job and stuff. And that's really the only really restriction I'm dealing with right now, or the only,
Right.
thing that kind of got me, a little obstacle I'm dealing with. But I'm hoping that once I get this CDL license and I'm actually a legal authorized truck driver, that they'll open the door for me to move around at least throughout Ohio. And
Yeah.
then as I pursue that, you know what I mean, maybe it'll open the door for, further trips, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, that's really my only obstacle right now. Outside of that, like just dealing with, what I'm saying? Like I say, balancing family and love and dealing, raising the son, you know what I mean? Trying to teach him, trying to discipline him and trying to teach him how to be a good boy. And you know what I mean? Outside of that, everything is peaceful, man. Just regular everyday life. You
That's
know?
good. That's good, man. I appreciate you, man, giving me your time, man. I really do, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you for letting me, let me on the, on the show, on the podcast, man. Like,
Man, You
it's
know,
a pleasure.
yeah, I want to get a round table, as I always say. I'm going to get this round table. I don't say I'm going to get this round table where we can get together multiple guys from different areas in sections, and we talk about building something we can do for the community together. You know what I mean?
It's for that, man. Like you see, when you asked me about this, when I came home and I found out that you was doing this, you see, I added you on TikTok, I added you on all my platforms, you know what I'm saying, just to watch and just to support, you know what I mean. But the fact that you reached out and you actually wanted to do an interview with me, you know what I'm saying, that was definitely a pleasure, you know what I'm saying, and it was like reward, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm for all that.
All right, man. I appreciate you, man. We'll get together again, man. This is Life After the Feds with an episode with John, aka Ghost. Y'all have a great night.